Hey guys, this is Eric Morrow, Editor-in-Chief of IGN Movies.
This is Rich from IGN Comics.
And we're here to provide the fan perspective to the new trailer for X-Men Origins Wolverine. And we should probably start off by saying if you haven't seen the trailer itself in its entirety, you should probably watch that first before listening to us go on about the movie.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we're going to start right here, which is probably my most favorite part of the trailer, and that's a young Wolverine with bone claws.
Yeah, a few years back, Marvel went back and introduced the idea of Wolverine as a boy. It had been something that fans have been asking for a long, long time, and they finally went back and showed it. And it looks like the movie's really going to dive through his entire history from the Civil War to World War II and on. And of course, the big focus of the movie is going to be Wolverine's time in the Weapon X project, and that details how he got his metal claws, and it also shows off a lot of his old allies and enemies that fans have never seen before, so that's going to be really a treat for comic book fans.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to see them in this next shot, right?
Yep, absolutely.
There they are right there. That's the Weapon X team, and I think we're going to go through really quick and just name off the various characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to kick it off with Agent Zero.
Yep, fans will know him as Maverick. Back in the 90s, he was introduced. Got a gold mask, shot a lot of guns. So, definitely if you're a fan of the books or the cartoon, you'll know him.
This is Will.i.am, who plays the character Wraith, a teleporter.
Yep, absolutely. And then we've got the long-awaited debut of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Kind of a cult favorite, and I think people dig him. So.
And then obviously this is Sabretooth, Wolverine's longtime nemesis.
Right, and we're going to jump ahead real quick to another member of Weapon X because we don't want to forget about him. And that's going to be Fred Dukes, also known as the Blob.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about at least this shot of him is that for being the Blob, he's kind of skinny. Yeah. We've seen him in other trailers, actually, where he's pretty massive. So I think we've talked about our theory being that he's going to kind of expand in size as the film progresses.
Right, absolutely. Now we're going to rewind a bit and get back to the team because there are a couple more people we have to talk about. First one being Gambit, huge fan favorite, long demanded, finally making his debut here for all you X fans.
And another interesting character right here is a young Scott Summers, a.k.a. Cyclops. The interesting thing is he really never played into Wolverine's origins, so they're obviously doing something a little different for the film.
Yeah, and we have a theory about how he kind of factors into the storyline, and we'll get to that in 1 second. We got to touch upon the leading lady of X-Men Origins, and that's going to be Silver Fox. Meets a tragic end and really plays a huge role in how Wolverine evolves over the years into the kind of the beast he is today. So let's get to a few more cameos before we take off, and first, let's talk about Cyclops one more time.
Right. So we see him here in his school, and he's actually being chased by Sabretooth. So our theory is that the Weapon X program needs him, wants him for some reason. We think that they're kind of gathering up mutants across the world and using them for some sort of nefarious gain.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see him shooting off his eye beams, trying to avoid Sabretooth's clutches right there. So another cameo we've got here is a sneaky one, actually, that we weren't expecting, and that's going to be Jason Stryker, who is William Stryker's son. You may remember him from X2. He's got the green and blue eye. He was bending reality and really mucking things up for the team back in the day. So let's jump ahead to one more major cameo, and that's going to be the blonde right here. And that's going to be Emma Frost.
Yeah, originally I didn't agree with you on this because I didn't realize that she has the ability to turn her body into diamonds, but you had mentioned that that's something that they introduced in the comics recently.
Yeah, writer Grant Morrison introduced it about 6-7 years ago, the ability for mutants to undergo a second evolution. And she got that ability, kind of adds a bit of a physicality to her as opposed to her typical telepathy.
Right.
So
now, if you go back real quick,
sure.
We'll get some shots of actually Gambit in action. And this is, again, something that fans have really, really been longing for. And you can rest assured that his use of the playing cards, his use of the bow staff, as you see right here, that all comes into play in the film. This is the Gambit that you've all fallen in love with in the books. So.
Yep, absolutely. We even see a couple of interesting uses of his abilities where he's climbing a wall with his staff broken in two. So it's pretty cool. Now, this trailer introduces one very, very controversial element, and we definitely want to touch upon that before we take off. So let's get right down to it. Eric, what is this guy?
Yeah, so that's the question. We think that this is Deadpool, aka Wade Wilson, after he's gone whatever kind of treatment in the Weapon X program that scars him and makes him Deadpool.
Right.
But you were saying in the comics, Deadpool doesn't what?
Yeah, he doesn't have I-beams. He doesn't have, blades coming out of his hands. So that is the real question, it's like what happens to Deadpool to make him like this? And I guess, we're going to find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a character listed on the IMDb called Weapon 11, and my theory is that is Wade Wilson. After he undergoes his gene therapy, he gets the ability to absorb other mutants' powers and becomes Weapon 11, but by the end of the film, perhaps, he turns good, loses those powers, puts on the mask, and becomes the Deadpool that we all know and love.
Yeah, I mean, with all these guest stars, we've got a lot of questions, and I guess we're going to find out come May 1st.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll come at you soon.
See you later.